Good morning. Hello, hello, hello. Lisa here. Hey guys, good morning. I hope you guys are having a fabulous Tuesday morning. I am. Got some errands done already, and now I'm ready to get down to work and client sessions today. But before I got into the midst of my day, I wanted to just have a little chat. I have been working with a great group of women in my signature impact group coaching, where I help these women. These are influencers who want to make a bigger impact. They want to attract their perfect audience, and they want to create a consistent income. And so I have the pleasure of helping them do that by creating a signature program. I'm helping them create their signature program. And in one of our sessions recently, we talked about fear. And so I just want to talk to you guys about it as well, because this is something that, gosh, I know at least 90% of my clients deal with it, have dealt with it. I know many of you deal with it. And so I want to start with the question for those of you who know that you are fearful of something, and you know that your fear has hindered you in some way over the course of your life. How would your life be different if you did not have that fear? Have you really thought about that? How would your life be different? How would you show up in life if you had no fear? Some of you may have contemplated that, and some of you may have not. You know, as a life coach for many years now, I have met so many people who have given me so many excuses for not pursuing their passions, for not doing what they believe God has called them to do, for not pursuing dreams and visions. And so we all, I think, I know for me, there was a time when I had some trepidation about public speaking, and public speaking is a very common fear for many. But God had just slowly eased me into public speaking during my profession in child development, and it came in the form of someone recognizing my knowledge in child development, asking me to speak on a few things in our meetings, and then asking me to speak on a few things in larger meetings. And so it just kind of dominoed after that. But have you really considered what your life would be like if you had no fear? What would it look like? What would your daily routine be like? How much bigger would your life be? How would your lifestyle be if you showed up boldly and confidently every day of your life? And this was a discussion that we had, and we talked about just a few specific things. In today's society, when you decide that you want to be an influencer, or when you decide that you want to start a business, or you want to do an online business, or if you have a business and you want to do some online marketing, Most times, in order to really maximize success in those areas, you're going to have to show up pretty boldly. You're going to have to show up. You're going to have to make decisions. You're going to have to communicate with your clients or your customers. And this is especially true when you want to offer a service like coaching or counseling or training, consulting, when you or ministry, when you have a movement, you're going to have to show up. And so that means that you are going to have to decide if you are going to allow fear of people, what people think about you, what people will say about you, hinder you. There are a lot of people who are afraid of man. They are afraid of the face of man. And so now, of course, as Christians, God tells us not to be afraid of man nor the face of man. As a matter of fact, the Bible clearly tells us that we do not have a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound and well-balanced mind. So we should not even be submitting ourselves to fear. But let's face it, fear does come against us. But when you are deciding to start a movement, do online marketing and do an online business, or, as I said, you want to show up in that service arena, then guess what? You're going to have to show up afraid. You're going to have to do it scared. If you are going to be successful, you have to make up your mind that you're either going to work through your fears or do it scared. And, many of you are afraid of visibility. My coaching group talked about this, afraid of visibility. Many of you know that you have a message from God and you're not sharing that message. We have the opportunity like we have never had before, where we can literally reach multiplied thousands of people through social media, through live video, right? It's just a matter of picking up your phone, putting it in front of you, and pushing a button. And we can share our message with a multitude of people. But many of us won't, because we're afraid of visibility. We're afraid of being criticized. We're afraid of being challenged. We're afraid of conflict. Well, guess what? It comes with the territory. And let me say this, many of you have never done a video. Many of you have never done a live, and you've been criticized for something, right? You've been challenged for something. You have had conflict about something. So these are very natural human things that are going to happen anyway. So you can play it small and not do what God has called you to do, not spread that message that God has called you to spread, or you can show up big and show up consistently and show up boldly, which is what He prefers. When we think about fear, and this is something that as a coach, I am always talking to my clients about, because there is a fear of being a fraud. One of the things that I like to say is I help my clients monetize their expertise. Well, oh my gosh, when I use that word expertise, it makes some people shudder. It makes some people step back because they don't feel like they're an expert in something. And so people tend to shrink back when you use words like expertise and specialty. But the fact of the matter is, these are just words that we use for someone who knows a good deal about a certain subject, right? A certain subject matter. And you could be an expert in so many things that you hadn't even considered. And it's not so much about being a fraud. Let's talk about that for a minute. So, what is a fraud? A fraud is someone who claims to be someone they're not, who claims that they've done something that they haven't, or know something that they don't, right? So, if you decide to show up with your knowledge, are you a fraud? Well, of course not, because you have the knowledge. Now, if you claim to have knowledge in an area that you don't have knowledge in, and if you claim that you're an expert in that area, then yeah, you're a fraud. But you are not a fraud because in your mind, and we're going to a mindset now, you don't know as much as the other person. That doesn't make you a fraud. If someone knows more than you, that just means they know more than you. It doesn't take away from what you know, right? Hi, Kay. Hello, Kay. Thank you for joining me. It doesn't take away from what you know. So when you feel led to do an online business, or when you feel led to present yourself as someone knowledgeable in a certain area, then do so. Do so boldly. One of my clients in my Signature Impact group is um, she's a certified coaching mom. Well, she can identify with that label, one, because she went through the process of becoming certified to coach parents. Okay, she went through the learning process, that training process, and they gave her a certification that says you met the requirements to take on this title. She's also a parent. So not only is she going to bring her training to the table, but she's now going to also bring her experience to the table. She is going to be able to relate to the parenting conditions. She is going to be able to share her own personal experiences, right? And then she has knowledge, basic knowledge of parenting adolescents, right? The way they are developing their attitudes, their temperaments. So she also has this basic knowledge. So she can show up with that. She can show up as a parenting coach because she has those things. And many of you don't consider the knowledge and experience you have and look at yourself in such a way that, wait, I can help someone with this knowledge and experience. I mean, come on, guys. People are showing up every day on social media. They're showing up every day on YouTube. Many of them have no degrees, no certifications, no diplomas. But guess what? They decided to show up with the knowledge and experience that they have. And many of you are listening to them. Many of you are following them. Many of you are taking notes and learning from them. They're not frauds. They just decided to show up. So are you showing up? Are you showing up? Another fear that is very common with showing up is that fear of failure or success. None of us wants to fail. I mean, of course, we want to be successful. We don't want to fall flat on our faces. But why, first of all, would you even think you would fall flat on your face? Who is telling you? Is that inner critic telling you that you're going to fall flat on your face? Well, where's the evidence? Do you even challenge that inner critic? Do you even challenge that self-talk? You know, most time there is no truth and in the negativity that we hear in our minds. A lot of times we worry about things that won't even happen. We worry about things that won't even come to pass. And let's just say for a moment that your fear does come to pass. Then what? Are you not resilient enough to recover? Do you not have a support system that can help you and strengthen you to get back up? You know, we all fall down, we all make mistakes, but the key is to get back up, to learn from the mistake, and go again. Are you not willing to do that? Come on, guys. You're bigger than that. You're better than that. You're stronger than that. You can do that. But, you know, when you think about the fear of success, can you handle the success? Well, the important thing about success is having a plan. When you start a business, when you start a movement, when you start public speaking, when you start a speaking career, when you get ready to publish that book, when you get ready to share that message, you want to have a solid plan, a plan that will help you navigate through the success, and you can grow at a good pace. And let's just say you become a success overnight. Well, that is when your relationship with God really matters, doesn't it? Because then that is where you're going to say, Lord, help me navigate this success. He's ordering your steps anyway if you're allowing him to, right? If you are walking in your purpose, then he's ordering your success. If you're walking in your purpose, then he's ordering your steps. So there is no need to be afraid of success if he is allowing the success. That just means you want to stay real close. You want to stay real close to him and communicate with him, right? So he can have you navigate that. But what are some of the fears that you guys experience? I want to hear from you, replay viewers. Let me hear from you. Mention some of those fears in the comment box so that we can have a little more discussion about this. But the main point that I want to make to you is that when you know that you are called by God, and you are, when you know that he has given you gifts, he has given you talents, he has given you a message, he has given you a book, he has given you an assignment, regardless of the fear you may be feeling, you have to do it afraid. Because obedience is better than sacrifice. He wants you to obey. When he can trust you with the little things, then he will continue to bless you with bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's a preparation. And he's there the whole way. But here's the last point I'm going to make. Guys, it's not about you anyway. You know, one of the reasons we have so many fears is because it's mixed with pride. And it's not about us. It is about the people that God has called us to. It is about the people who need us, the people who need your word, the people who need your message, the people who need your encouragement, the people who need your skills, your understanding, your wisdom, the people who need your education. You know, God did not give us all of this wisdom and knowledge and experience for ourselves. Of course, we grow through that. Of course, we benefit from that. But it's not just for us to hoard, but it's for us to give. God is a giving God, and He expects us to give. So I would challenge you to consider that it's not about you. It's not about you. There are people who need you. And so I would challenge you to meet that need. All right, guys, I am done. Please, by all means, comment. Let me know what you're thinking about what I've said. You know, many times I have had to coach people, do life coaching with them, and soul care with them before I was able to really work with them on their businesses and on their goals and their visions. And this may be something that you need to do. Consider, you know, if you are so fearful that it's hindering your purpose, it's hindering the call on your life, you may need some help. As a matter of fact, I would say you do need some help. And regardless of where you get that help from, make an effort to get it so that you can show up strong. Okay, guys, you have a wonderful day. God bless.